Hi everyone, it's Jen, aka LaureledEevees, and thank you so much for checking in. This video is a special for my 11,000 plus subscribers, and I asked people to submit their questions that they would like to see me answer, and that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna see how many of these questions I can actually fit into one small video. I'm not quite sure how long this is gonna go. 8 pages. Oh my gosh. Keep in mind, if multiple questions sounded kind of similar, I just kind of mashed the questions together. So if you can't find your specific question, it's probably because it's mashed up with another person's. You've done a lot of in-depth literary analysis on Homestuck. What's the closest to this level of depth that a school assignment ever came? The first one that comes to mind was this term paper for a class called The Power of Myth and Symbol. It's an art school. What do you expect? The class was interesting, I guess. We learned things like Western mythology and its effect on today's art and media, the idea of collective unconscious and archetypes, and the hero's journey. But our professor came off as kind of a loon. The way he wrote came off as pretentious and condescending, especially if you didn't align yourself with his particular brand of cosmic mysticism. It even found its way into our homework assignments. Sure, I'll write a 500-word essay about sitting in the rain for about 20 minutes. This is 5% of my final grade? Aces. Anyway, our final assignment was a 6-page essay analyzing the universal, cultural, and psychological functions of myth. Around our favorite myth that we talked about in the first week of class. I had said Hades and Persephone, so naturally I was thrown directly into this professor's conceited line of fire right out of the gate. He told me to go check out his website and then resubmit because everything I thought about the myth was incorrect. We had to submit so many drafts of this one paper through the entire semester, and the professor was a pain, but I did learn a lot, and it made reading Lore Olympus more entertaining. Tell us a bit of your class spec, please. The class spec that I made up is the Out of Breath. I wanted to make a class that could be a pun and also dictate that I'm a fan. My words shouldn't be taken so seriously. Also, I actually developed a kind of anxiety that makes it so that if I'm concentrating on something hard enough, my body forgets to breathe. I literally get red-faced and out of breath, like I just ran a marathon. A bit dark, but I haven't blacked out since I was 3, so that's the thing. Anyway, I like to define those who have the out class as someone who lacks their aspect when in the zone or experiencing their fandom. Breath players talk themselves blue in the face, time players say 5 more minutes on Tumblr and then only suddenly realize it's 2 a.m., and life players are most likely to say, OMG, I'm so dead, etc., etc. Anyone's free to use the fan class, though I would like it if you mentioned me. What made you want to start Fridgestuck? When Homestuck finished in 2016, Homestuck made a YouTube channel and posted a video that was hosted by Dante Bosco and What Pumpkin creative John Warren, calling attention to what they were calling the next step in Homestuck's run, which is Homestuck 2.0. In the video, the two mad lads, they talked about Homestuck's unexpected influence and Hiveswap's development, but really stood out was near the end, when Dante and John brought up that Homestuck was looking for show ideas and were asking for fans to submit their ideas in video form. They were trying to figure out what to do with this new YouTube channel thing and make people want to visit it more than once. So they're asking fans to submit their ideas in a form of a video for the crew to look at, and if the crew liked it, you were in. And mind you, I was only 700 subscribers big, and I'd only ever posted reaction videos of my own about, like, you know, the bigger moments from Game Over and on. But I still got the gonads to go and make my own video talking about Homestuck and what it meant for me, and submitted many suggestions about this new show idea that I had, mainly having to do with the references in the comic and the characters that they made. It's still up on the channel today, actually. I never heard back from them, so I guess they thought my ideas were less than impressive. But I still thought they were great. So I started writing a script for a video that would eventually become my Carcat Vantis Fridgestuck, which now has over 70,000 views. Thank you very much. Homestuck has since privated the Homestuck 2.0 video, and they never really have done anything with their YouTube channel, aside from their like Hive Swap trailers and listing all their like animated pages unlisted onto YouTube. They haven't really done anything with their YouTube channel, but after all these years, here I am, still making the videos that I love. What made you read Homestuck in the first place? I blame my friend Corey for that. One day she messaged me about this webcomic that she wanted me to check out, but she seemed rather shy about it. Keep in mind, 2014, Jen was still an ingenue of the internet, so I had no idea what to expect. Some people might say I'm still an ingenue, but I can fight you on that. I read the comic maybe up to Act 5, and then I got bored of it and promptly just forgot about it. But then maybe about a half a year later, during my winter break, since I'm a fan of YouTube animators, a video called Lullaby for the Gods appeared in my suggestions. It had millions of views, so I was intrigued, so I clicked on it. Though rough, the animation is so fluid, it's so well timed, and the expressions are detailed, and the background music fits perfectly with it. It's beautiful. The characters stirred my memories. It was like waking up from a dream. I know this kid. I know this kid with the horns. Has it really been 6 months since I watched this? So I hopped back on the train. I was hyped up from Angela Sham's art and marathoned the comic in 2 short weeks. Very bad decision making on my part. It was then, after rereading from the start, that I was able to pick up on all the foreshadowed elements, and I fell in love with the crazy writing style and medium of Andrew Hussie. Cats or dogs? Birds? Both are good. Though I'm more of a cat person, really. They're just easier to take care of, and they have some semblance of independence. Birds are cute, but only online and at a distance. I was bit by lorikeets when I was a kid, and so I'm kind of wary of them. Don't tell Jaden Animations. When will you make the Friska Fridgestuck? Soon. Are you going to do a Fridgestuck on Hussie or Rose? Rose? Yeah. Hussie? Probably not. Ironically, Hussie the character didn't actually do much in Homestuck, and I'm not planning on writing a literal biography on Andrew the man. Favorite class spect? Aspect-wise, I'm a fan of space and time since the players seem to have major understanding about the universe, and it's downright meta, and I love that. Also, I like breath, obviously. But also, I'm curious about the other aspects that got little to no screen time, like Doom and Rage. What do they do? For classes, I'm thinking I like knights, I like witches, maids, and muses. Not sure if I can narrow it down any further than that. One day you wake up in the Homestuck universe and there's a very epic battle happening. What do you do? I figure out which side to support and then try to gain the trust of the nearest kid while they're trying to fight for their life. I don't think my slither noodle arms would be very much good in a fight. What's your favorite Pokemon besides Eevee? Or what's your favorite new Pokemon from Sword and Shield? I'll do both for you. Since it's been a while since I made that list, if I had to choose one Pokemon forever, besides Eevee, I'd probably pick Cutiefly. However, if Pokemon were realistic, like the Detective Pikachu movie, I probably would go for Delcatty, I think, since I'm squeamish of anything with compound eyes. Of Sword and Shield Pokemon, I love Wooloo. Oh my lord, Wooloo is so cute and spherical and fluffy and such a good ability! Ah! Do you watch She-Ra and the Princesses of Power? No, I don't have a Netflix, so I'd have to watch it illegally. And it doesn't really jump out to me as something I would actually like. Then again, I've said that sort of thing with shows before. How are you so awesome? That is the best effing question. Do you think certain characters, such as Gamzee and Equius, can be rewritten so that they have a better arc and story? And which character do you think deserved more screen time? For the first half of that question, I honestly don't know. I'm sure it's possible. It would just be really, really challenging, because the fact that Gamzee and Equius are eventually they become part of the big bad at the end. So I don't know if you could ever really, it would mess with the story structure so much. As for characters deserving more screen time, I'm gonna go with the fandom standbys of Nepeta and Pfeffery. I haven't played Pester Quest yet, but it'll be interesting to see how the current creative staff, writes their plots. I hope they don't treat Pfeffery too bad. This new team seems to have made it their mission to make life players kind of trash. Do you have a favorite book? Not counting series like Harry Potter and Warriors, my favorite book is Seraphina by Rachel Hartman. Award-winning, alternate universe, Renaissance-esque fantasy. We got hilariously pragmatic dragons, we got political intrigue, magic children, found family, a murder mystery, forbidden love, music, dance, philosophy, inventions, war, ancient hidden secrets that would topple society if discovered. It's good, it's enticing. I've almost missed Bart stops because I was so in the zone while reading it and I lost sense of the world around me. We do not talk about Dragonscale, though, its sequel. It felt rushed, the world's kingdoms felt too formulaic, and the plot took a sharp turn that I did not like, and still felt kind of unresolved at the end. That's because it was. Though, maybe I should try picking it up again. It's been a few years, maybe it'll sound better the second read through. Maybe I won't hate the kingdom that sounds just like Tumblr. What made you want to start a YouTube channel? It hilariously sounds like the plot to an anime, to be honest. The shy, socially awkward teenage girl has a crush on her internet idol. Can she gain enough skills and subscribers to get senpai to notice her? Will the wild west of the web break her fragile spirit? Or will she find the confidence she needs to thrive, not only online, but in the real world? Find out this season on Liked and Subscribed. Okay, so that wasn't the only reason. I love YouTube, so I thought it'd be a fun creative career. It's become more of an all-consuming creative hobby that might pay for my health insurance once a year. But I might just make a good editor someday. You know what they say about the 10,000 hour theory. Naturally, the getting senpai to notice me thing never actually happened because Homestuck came out of nowhere and changed the course of my channel forever. But that's fine with me. Becoming a creator on YouTube just to social climb and meet your crush is definitely, admittedly, a weak excuse to do it. You need to have fun, not an agenda if you don't want to feel like dying all the time on here. What would you change about the epilogues? If you're asked to write your own epilogue, what would you have done? There would be a twist concerning a certain character, and a magic ring. There would be more personal sacrifice, less real-world parallels and hot-button topics, and no face-heel turns that would seem to come out of nowhere. I would love to go into detail, but in time. All good time. If you could rewrite anything about Homestuck, what would it be? John punching Caliborn during Game Over would turn Caliborn into a friend, just like any good shonen anime. What other webcomics do you like? I'm glad you asked. Okay, I'm a fan of Let's Play. I'm one of the many fans screaming for purple babies in Sub-Zero. I just started following Ava's Demon. It has amazing art, but I'm not invested in the story just yet. I love my giant nerd boyfriend. The art style is beautifully simplistic, and I care about Fishball and her boyfriend so freaking much. And along with a lot of people, I love Lore Olympus. Oh my gosh, they're making a Netflix series, yes! As for non-webtoon comics, I've read Asmundere and are currently keeping up with its sequel, Home, both by Creek. I I think it's pronounced. I love my tribal dog drama, and watching the art style evolve and grow over time is a real treat. I'm slowly catching up on Cucumber Quest, but I'm getting to the point where I might just wait for them to come to the library and print. Also, I'm a big fan of Bleedman's doujins, especially Grim Tales from Down Below and Powerpuff Girls D, though I am super behind on both of them right now. If you don't know what those are, just imagine all the characters from Nickelodeon and Disney and Cartoon Network existing in the same universe. And they're cute girls, and there's fantasy violence, and the shipping is insane. It's like a crack shipper's paradise. I'm also a fan of Little Char and the gang. The storylines are very heartfelt, and if you haven't read the OG Nuzlocke hard mode comics, you really should. I also read Zoophobia and Panthera until their respective creators stopped updating them. Why? I think that's about it. I'm leaving out the DeviantArt comics, by the way. There's just too many. Do you think Cal Sprite survived his timeline's erasure? And if so, will he make an appearance in the epilogues? I don't think Cal survived, though he probably collided consciousness with Caliborn. Maybe even Gamzee. Possibly Aqueous? Similar to what happened with our timeline's Rose, dead timelines just create dead time players, just like any other of the timelines where we see a dead Dave, that's a dead timeline. Right there. And it rarely affects the plot at all. What other fandoms do you plan on making videos on? What are you gonna do after you cover all the characters in Fridgestuck? After I run out of characters in Homestuck to do Fridgestuck on, I'll still do reacts for Homestuck 2 updates, maybe run the occasional editorial piece on certain aspects of Homestuck that would fit better in an essay-style format than what I was using for Fridgestuck. Sweet, sweet chaos. If you're one of the people that's saying, oh, do Fridge Fracks on Hiveswap or Friendship characters, Hiveswap isn't done yet, so I can't really do more than speculate on something that isn't finished yet. And if you take into account all of the Homestuck ships that I sailed that ended up burning into pyres of shame, obviously I'm not very good at that. And B, Optimistic Duelist is already doing something similar for the Friend Sim Trolls. Hi, Taz, if you're watching. Let's see, I made Psyche sprites to do MLP-related stuff, but then the show ended. Also, Hasbro really hated me monetizing reactions, even though it got less than 50 average views. Also, they were a pain to edit. Since YouTube is not a safe place to review media, like movies or TV shows, unless you get like a big corporate sponsor to just keep the bad guys away, I'm not planning on talking about my favorites from those. I'm also thinking on jumping into the Warrior Cats community, but I'm not sure what I could contribute besides opinions. But I do have a passion for the books, and I can draw cats stupidly well for someone who only learned animal anatomy from DeviantArt tutorials. But no matter what I do, I'll still have to be careful with what I say. Cancel culture is still a thing. Screw up and a small channel like me will die. Who among the Alternian trolls would you choose as a roommate? Aradia. Chipper, positive attitude, least likely to mess with my things, or invite an untold number of creatures into the house. Have you been watching Rev Scarecrow's read through Homestuck? What do you think of it? Fave Fan Adventures! Who's the best Vast Era character? Here's the thing. I watch and read little to no Homestuck fan content. Animations and the fan dub are exceptions. Partially because of my... It's partially because of my admittedly weak reason that I just don't want other creators' ideas to influence what I do on my channel or in my fan art. Or my writing, for that matter. Also, I just don't have the time and energy. Knowing this fandom, each piece of media would be like 20,000 pages and counting. So you'll have to forgive me if you mention names or things from the community that I just don't know, more than just passing detail. I mean, I know Taz because he commented on one of my videos, and he follows my Twitter, and I watched one of his videos because I really needed a second opinion on what a Muse and Lord class could do. Hi again, Taz, if you're watching. What character in Homestuck did your opinion change on the most? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Come closer. A little closer. Rose Lalonde is my least favorite character. I'm not entirely sure why. It could be the fact that she invented her one-upmanship drama fights with her mom instead of talking to her, or the fact that she's super cynical, disingenuous, a bit boring, ignored her role completely in the game, and maybe I couldn't shake the fact that this was a girl going through one of the most universally hated points of a human's lifespan being written by a 30-year-old man. Regardless, the epilogues actually added an expressive personality, compassion, and emotional depth to her, which I like. Which, considering that the tone of the epilogues in general don't sound a thing like Hussy that much since it was being written by a hive of fan writers, really makes you think. What's your favorite anime? Would you recommend it to anyone? My favorite anime, for personal and objective reasons, is Naruto, but I couldn't in judgment recommend it to everyone because of just how long it is and how much useless filler there is. Other shows I like are Dr. Stone, My Hero Academia, Gekken Shoujo no Zaki-kun, Fruits Basket, Recovery of an MMO Junkie, and Ancient Magus Bride, to name a few. Last question. What gave you the idea for things on your channel, such as Phil and the name of Fridgestuck? Phil was born from a need for dialogue. Back in the day, I was fond of certain reviewer personalities having multiple characters and felt like if I ever wanted to branch out into reviews, I would need my own cast to bounce off of. The first character I felt was necessary was a by-the-book, literal robotic straight man, leaving me to make up the impulsive, eccentric side of our comic duo. This character, due to being created by an airhead, is constantly jaded towards humanity, and acts as kind of a interesting commentator on the human condition. That type of character is actually my favorite and one of my best voices for me to write in, actually. Seriously. Wait till I get the Homestuck fanfic going. If you love Phil, you'll love Pal. Now, the others, such as Mercury, were introduced as a signal that I would be trying to covering many fandoms on this channel, but then Homestuck kind of monopolized things for a bit. I even built this big backstory about the headspace where the 6 OCs live and how they psychologically, emotionally, and physically represent part of my show's character, as well as the fandom some of them represent. But it felt forced, and it really didn't seem to test well in the Fridgestuck episodes they showed up in, so I just stopped incorporating the channel lore. Oops, did I say 6 OCs? I meant 5. Speaking of Fridgestuck, the name came from the website TV Tropes. There is a trope category called Fridge, where you realize allusions and plotline details from a piece of media randomly throughout your day, usually as the name suggests when you open the fridge. Homestuck is full of fridge facts and logic and horror, so it worked well for a title. It's also a very lucky coincidence that fridges tend to frequently appear in Homestuck. Well, this video's gone on longer than I would have liked, but thank you guys so much for watching and submitting your questions and watching my videos. It's been a great couple years, and I hope to continue to create in the future. Until next time, when I go to Pester Quest, apparently. See y'all next time. Bye!